You know what's funny? Black nerds and black fandom consider a character to be black if they're a part of a mainstream universe like the Marvel or DC universe. However, when a black character is a part of their own world, they're not considered to be black at all. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes, Godbreaker in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. You know what's interesting to me? How many black nerds and parts of black fandom will sit there and say a character who is created by white comic creators, that is black, is a black character. However, a black character created by a black creator like myself, they will sit there and say that that character isn't black, even though a black creator created them and created them to be a part of a shared universe where black characters are the center focus of that universe. I just find it interesting how many people who are black nerds or a part of black fandom will sit there and say that a character like a Falcon, a Luke Cage, a Storm, a Vixen, a Cyborg, or a Black Lightning, or characters that come from a universe that is connected to a universe like the DC universe, such as the Milestone characters like Hardware Icon and Static, are black. However, when an independent creator like myself creates the SJS Direct universe, which features John Haynes, Isis, and Esteem, and Matilda Crowley, they will sit there and say that the black characters created by the black creator in a black shared universe aren't black. And I just find that to be quite interesting that they will sit there and tell a black creator who creates black characters who are a part of a black shared world and are a center focused on black people. They will tell that black creator their characters aren't black, but the characters created by white creators, all of those characters are black. And when I take a critical look at the way black nerds and people who are a part of black fandom can just say black creators' characters aren't black, it's another example of the spellbound mind that I talk about in depth in my 2016 novel, Spellbound. Now, the spellbound mind is where a black person wants to fit into the black box that's acceptable to white people, and when it comes to many people who are black nerds and a part of black fandom, they want to fit into that black box that's acceptable to white people, so they will readily accept a black character created by a white creator as black, or a black affiliated character who is created by black creators as black, because what they do is create a covert contract between themselves and those people who are a part of white fandom and white society. They create this covert contract hoping that if these black characters are accepted and they show that they are fans of these characters, they will be able to gain acceptance in the white social circles of white fandom, and hope that those in white fandom will show them some sort of respect. And this is a contract that definitely does not get fulfilled, because what happens is, while many of these black nerds and black fans go out here hoping to gain this acceptance from those white people that they imagine in their minds, what they do is go out here and, instead of trying to help out other black creators out here and support their work, what they do is look to try to tear down other black creators like myself by saying that our characters are not black. And the reason why they're saying this isn't because the characters aren't black. No, they aren't the black that allows them to fit into the black box that's acceptable to white people, one. And two, they can't use these characters as social currency to elevate their social status among the whites in fandom, So, since they can't get the attention and approval of whites by supporting the black character, what they want to do is try to find a way to dismiss that character so that they cannot go out here and have attention drawn to themselves as related to supporting these characters, or have attention drawn to them as related to showing that there is competition as related to the universe they actually want to be a part of. Because what they want to do is continue to be a part of the black person in the white world, and they don't want to see a competing world start to get momentum. And because they don't want to see a competing world get attention, they want to try to find a way to eliminate that world. So they try to find excuses not to support a world of black characters like those on the SJS Direct universe, and they don't want to support those characters because, again, there's no way they can get social currency as related to gaining the validation and approval of the imaginary white people in their minds. Now, when it comes to a black universe by a black creator, for some black nerds and some people in black fandom, they fear the whole idea of a world of black characters from a black creator, and they fear this because a world created by a black creator shows, one, rebellion, because you are showing that you have an imagination that shows that you can see yourself in your own world, one. Two, you are showing that you can be a part of a world where you put yourself first. And three, you are in a world where you see yourself as the one taking power. And this is something that many people who are a part of black nerds and black fandom fear. They fear the whole idea of imagining themselves in a world of their own, a world where they are put first, and a world where they take power, because in their mind, they want to be a part of a world where the whites are in control, a world where the white people have power, and a world where they can be a part of that world. But that's a sad existence, as I see as a creator, because why would I want to be a part of somebody else's world? Why would I want to be in the background of somebody's else's world? Why would I want to be living in a world where I'm living by somebody else's rules and having to be the background character in their story? Why would I want to take effort to put fingers to the keyboard to write somebody else's stories and write about somebody else's experiences when I can take that time out of my life to go create my own world and create a world where black people are first? Black people are out here taking power, and black people are out here being the heroes in their own stories. And this is something that motivated me to go out here and start building the SJS Direct universe back all the way in 1999 when I started with the Isis character, and then 2005 when I started with the John Haynes character. That's what motivated me, because I wanted to see a world where black people were the lead characters in their own stories. I wanted to see a world where black people were in the foreground in talking about our culture and our experiences in a shared universe. And I wanted to create a world where we saw black people out here taking power and using their power to improve the quality of life in their communities. That's what I wanted to do when I created the SJS Direct universe. I wanted to create a world where you saw black people front and center. But when I look out here at most black nerds and black fandom, a lot of people are looking to be a part of the white world, and again, looking to be in somebody else's world instead of looking to go out here and build your own. And again, I always thought that from my years of watching science fiction and fantasy and reading comic books, that it was all about me creating something as related to how I saw the world. And when I rarely saw people who were black in that world in lead roles, like I saw with Jake Sisko in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, I always wanted to say that we need to create more stories where black people are the center of our own world and out here showing our vision of the future, our vision of the world. I mean, that's something that I believe needs to be seen, but you really don't see that much as related to a lot of people who are a part of Black Nerds and Black Fandom. No, they want to be a part of a universe created by white people and be the black characters in a white person's universe, but never thinking to imagine how you saw the world or looking to tell a story from your perspective. And that's always been the sad part about the whole thing as related to these universes like the Marvel universe and the DC universe. The black characters, again, are like background characters with no center focus. And even in the Milestone universe, we did get to see a black perspective in the beginning when they first started, but later on it became more and more about this whole idea of white validation, especially with Milestone 2.0, and it was never about creating a narrative of black empowerment where we saw black people with power taking power. And that's a thing that I see that a lot of people who are a part of Black Fandom are afraid of. They're afraid of going out here and presenting material that shows black people taking power because they're afraid of upsetting white people and non-black people. They're afraid of upsetting and alienating them by showing that, hey, I have power and I have a right to take my power. And again, this is something that many black people are afraid of. They're afraid of taking their power, taking control over their own image, taking control over our own stories, taking control and showing that we can go out here and be the best and brightest. We can go out here and see a world where we see ourselves first, because life, as I see it, is too short to be sitting in the background of somebody else's story and being an ancillary detail to somebody's story, when you can go out here and be the center of the story, the way characters like John Haynes, Isis Esteem, and Matilda Crowley are. They're the centers of their story, and even Lilith Graves, all centers of the story and all having the focus on them. And again, as I look at it, we have to break out of the spellbound mind of looking to fit into a black box of a white universe and look to try to go out here and create a world where we can be the center of that whole universe of characters, and we can see black first in that universe, black first in that world, and see black people taking power to go out here and empower other black people. Because if fantasy is supposed to be an escape, it should be a world where we escape to see ourselves in lead roles, not in the background of somebody else's story. And if we are going to escape to a world, we should be looking at ourselves and seeing leaders, seeing people who are doing and working towards great things and utilizing power. That's what I would think I would want to see for the most part, and that's what I try to write. I don't want you to just see black characters who are just there and being black. I want you to see black people taking an active role in their lives and in their stories, and I want you to see black people being the very best they can be. That's what I want to see in a universe. I want to see black men and black women working together to overcome whatever odds. I want you to see black men and black women learning to love and care about each other, because these are things we need to see modeled for us and presented as examples of how we do live, how we can just go out here and work to get along. These are things we need to see in media, and this is why I say it's important for us to see a black world of black people, because we need to see a black world from black creators, where we see black people participating in positive social traits, because the only way we get to see a black character out here these days in most cases is they're a part of they're a character, one, created by a white person, two, they're created to fit into a white world, and three, they're a white person's view of black, but not our own view of black, and not telling our stories. And that's why a black universe by a black creator is important, because a black universe by a black creator shows you a world of black people, shows you an example, an ideal of black people working together, and shows you how a universe of black characters can go out here and build something. That's why universes like the SJS Direct Universe are important, because we need to understand that, yeah, there's a larger world of people, but we don't see ourselves as a community, and that's what a black universe does. It allows you to see a black community of characters, and allows you to see that black community of characters working together, and allows you to see a bigger picture of black life outside of the hood that we see in media. That's why a black shared universe is important, and that's why I go out of my way to go out here and create that universe, because I want to try to help people come out of that spellbound mind of fitting into a black box that's acceptable to whites and non-blacks, and find acceptance and approval from the Most High God, one, and two, from ourselves, because when we find acceptance and approval from ourselves, we create a standard for ourselves, like our fathers and grandfathers used to do. They created a standard as related to saying we value each other, and that's what is a black universe by black creators is important, because if we don't value ourselves, we can't ask others to validate and approve us. And again, when we value ourselves, we show that we love ourselves, and that is the most important part about being in a black world. You learn to love black, you learn to see a beauty in being black, you learn to see greatness in black, and that's why a black universe to me is really important by black creators, because when you see someone who looks like you showing love to people who are like you, it shows that there is a world you can imagine yourself to be a part of, and you can see yourself in a world that is larger than the ghetto that the mainstream media wants to put you in. Now, if you want to try out some of the books of the SJS Direct Universe, you can find the books in the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the John Haynes series, the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, and my vampire novel, Eternal Night, all part of the SJS Direct Universe. You can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to pick up my first full comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, you can find this comic on Lulu right now by clicking the link in the description box. And this book was a part of a hit 2022 Kickstarter, but I wanted to make it available to everyone, so you can get your copy of the first John Haynes comic by going over to lulu.com today. And you can also get my first digital comic, Esteem No Good Deed, that I did with Bill Walko. You can get that on Kindle for 99 cents. So I have a lot of great fantasy publications on the SJS Direct imprint, and I'd love for you to see you try them all. And if you'd like to see me make more videos about fantasy and science fiction, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, 1987. Learn lessons about life and teenage love in the 1980s with this coming-of-age John Haynes story. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes, 1987 at online booksellers everywhere.
Support black-owned and black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now available on Lulu. John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at lulu.com today.